Sam!
Boo!
Well, it's just you, Halloween.
Well, welcome to the Graveyard Goblins and Ghouls. We have another fantastic evening for you, right, Sam?
Oh, full of movies and music and all kinds of fun.
Thank you for joining us for another horror hour on Scary TV.
Victor, look, a kite. Remember, you and your friend from the military used to make those together.
In the ensuing course of those events, with dark lightning striking cold earth and terrifying tremors tearing down tall trees.
Victor, let go. I'm gonna be late. Victor.
Desi Sanchez, chiropractor.
I'm Persephone, fund supervisor at
City First Federal Savings.
And you are?
Lana. You managed my employer's retirement and finances.
Sorry I'm late.
Desi Sanchez, chiropractor. So, did everyone else get these tarot cards?
Oh, yeah.
Well, Desi and I were wondering, what does your tarot card depict?
The magician.
Just as I suspected.
Okay. What about Lana's?
I see.
Welcome, everyone. Please, let me show you to your seats. Our chef Channing has prepared quite the meal.
So, I'm not really sure why we're all here.
Well, tell me everything about yourself. Let's see how we're connected.
So, there's gotta be something up with this dinner party, right? We all get these tarot cards that match these masks. And then something with Persephone being here, and the host was just kind of off. I mean, the four of us have to be connected in some sort of way. This is like an Agatha Christie novel.
Hey, what is this? I've had better trash than this. What is it? Is it a military dish? This may be the worst
relationship I've ever had ends when they find out I'm a construction worker.
The fragility of men.
But why me though?
Because
Welcome, guests. Or should I more appropriately say, contestants? He couldn't very well abduct you by force, and Victor has always been too creative to exact his revenge that way. So abducted by symbolism, and shown for the monsters you really are. So a death game for you all. At least one of you is a trap. The rest of you will be in Hades by sunrise. Persephone, for your financial mismanagement. Desi, for your false cures. Francis, for your shoddy craftsmanship. Lana, for your apathy. And it begins.
This has got to be a mistake. No, I got to get out.
well, he's angry. And surprisingly still wealthy, despite everything that's happened. And now we can't even trust each other because now one of us is working for him.
Clever. But if he's abducted us...
Well, I think this whole thing is kind of stupid. So what if I kind of broke the guy's back or whatever? Hey, I think we should go look for Frances. We should go see if she's okay, right?
Francis? Francis? Hey!
The host gets the doggy bag. No leftovers.
What happened?
I don't know, but I don't want to play this game anymore.
What game? Doctor? I guess things change.
Can you feel it? We are the nightmare things. We are the mutants. Midnight evolution. We eat the tourists. If you ever wanted to dance in a pit of snakes, tonight my friend you'll get the chance. Show me a monster face. We are the nightmare things. We've been set free. We are free. Can you feel it? Can you taste it? Can you see it? Can you feel it? If you ever wanted to dance in a pit of snakes, tonight my friend you'll get the chance. Show me a monster face. We are the nightmare things. We've been set free. We are the nightmare things, and we are free. If you ever wanted to dance in a pit of snakes, tonight my friend you'll get the chance. Show me your monster face. We are the nightmare things, and we are free. We are the nightmare things. We've been set free. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? I need you to feel it. Can you see it? I need you to be it. It's time to shed your skin. Take my hand. Crawl out of the crypt. Shed your skin. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? I need you to feel it.
Now joining me in the cemetery, the lead singer of Dracula Party, Byron. Welcome, Byron. How are you?
I am great. How are you?
I'm feeling a little dead, but that's about normal for us here in the graveyard. So we just saw your music video for Nightmare Things. Can you tell us about Dracula Party? How did the band get together, and what are your influences?
I've been in various bands throughout the years. I was in the industrial band God Module for 8 years, getting to play shows all over the world. Crazy. And, I was missing that for a while. I did a shock rock band called Ghosts in the Graveyard, and then that fizzled out or whatever. So jump to, I think this was 2018, I meet my buddy Chris Longo. We start bonding over horror films. He's, got this kind of New York punk background, but I listened to his music, and I listened to Chris's music. He has this instrumental project called Idolus, and it sounds like 80s synth scores, and it's cool and creepy. And I'm like, this is awesome, and maybe we should work together. So, we start talking, and he even did a remix of a Ghost in the Graveyard track. And then I was like, how about this? We do a band. It's going to sound like kind of like Idolist, but creepier and maybe a little more industrial. And, I'll write the lyrics, I'll do the vocals, and we'll call it Dracula Party. And he's like, I'm in. So we just started collaborating, and it took off from there. And as far as influences, I mean, for Chris, for making the music, I know he loves like Cliff Martinez. He loves all the kind of 80s synth horror scores and also 70s scores and bands like Goblin. So there's a little bit of all that in there. And then certainly some industrial, like anything from Knights of Red to Nine Inch Nails. And then for me, lyrically, I'm certainly influenced by horror punk and by one of my favorite bands ever, Alice Cooper. And for my stage performance, very much somewhere between, I like to think, Alice Cooper, Iggy Pop, Billy Idol, David Bowie, always wanting to have a strong energy and presence and just a fun, crazy show.
Great. And what was your inspiration, particularly for Nightmare Things, the video we just watched?
Yeah, so for this song, sometimes we collaborate like live in a like session, but this time he sent me the music and he's like, "What do you think of this?" And he listened to it, trying to come up with words. Suddenly, it felt like it should be kind of like an anthem for all the weirdos. I felt like it should be like anyone who's ever felt othered, and I thought about myself. I mean, I remember when I was in high school in the mid 90s in Kentucky, with long black hair, mostly straight, but, a little bit into everybody, and, I feel like even when I was a kid, I was always the weird kid who sometimes got picked on and bullied and whatever. So I thought about all that and thought about the world today and just wanted to make an awesome anthem about, what? It's great to be weird and crazy and be yourself. And let's all have fun and be weird and crazy and show me your monster faces. Show me who you really are, because that's what I love. I love you as you really are.
What draws you to horror? Why is it the genre or medium that you use to tell stories and make music in?
I was a kid in Kentucky, early 80s. There was a late night horror host that I watched called Sammy Terry. Sammy Terry. Say it real fast. Yeah. And I loved it. And that was like my gateway into all these edited for TV, but, all these classic and 70s horror films. And I loved that. I even dressed up like him for Halloween one year. And then on my dad's side, there was my grandma Mildred. She loved horror films and soon realized that I was catching the bug and would show me horror films and tell me about them. And the house they lived in then, they were all convinced was haunted. So, grandparents in a creepy, seemingly haunted house. And I know some kids might run away in terror, and I was scared, but I also just was fascinated. And from a very young age, I wanted to somehow be a part of it, like using my little tape recorder to record fake horror host stuff and just putting on the haunted houses in my room and then working in haunted houses later. It's just always had a love for it.
Do you have a favorite scary movie or horror movie?
That's tough. I don't really have a favorite, but some like top favorites. Romero's Dawn of the Dead, Evil Dead 2, David Lynch's Lost Highway. Those are some of the tops. The Return of the Living Dead, Fright Night, Carpenter's The Thing, Carpenter's Halloween. Those are almost like tied. Those are all probably in my top.
Are you currently working on any projects? What can we expect from you in the near future?
So other projects I'm working on that hopefully I'll be going into production on really soon is a new feature film, a werewolf movie called Beware the Moon. It's going to be this neon-soaked, kind of existential, erotic, romantic, and completely brutal, practical effects driven monster movie that I am just super excited to get working on.
And where can folks find you in the things that you've made or are making?
Sure. I am on all the socials pretty much. If you look up Byron C. Miller, you'll find me. And other than that, I do have a website, byroncmiller.com, that does have links to everything I do. And I have a YouTube channel, YouTube Byron C. Miller, and you'll find like every music video I've ever directed, the trailers to the movies I've made, and also the movies Night, The Final Cut, The Anatomy of Monsters, and a collection of my childhood short films, which is called Shot by Night. You can find all those on Tubi streaming for free. Or you can rent them through Amazon and various other places, or buy them on DVD.
Well, fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us here in the cemetery, and you have a happy Halloween.
Yes, happy Halloween!
Hello, everyone. My name's Amanda Jane, and every Friday night I host The Darkest Hour on YouTube. If you like true scary stories, anthology series, and all things spooky, you'll love The Darkest Hour. Let's listen to a little of it now, shall we? When I was really young, I used to see things that weren't there, quote unquote. Now, before you recommend a psychiatrist or anything like that, know that I've already had my fair share of testing. I'm sound of mind, and kind of most importantly, what I know I saw and experienced as a child, I haven't experienced anything like it since. It was always the same two individuals I'd see, as well as a dog. Well, half a dog anyway. Not as creepy as it sounds. There was a man. At first he was really just a shadow. I assumed he was a man because he towered over the other, and when he was around, it felt a lot like when my grandpa was around. A jolly, older spirit, for sure. I only ever saw him as a shadow man, but call it imagination or keen sense, I knew what he looked like. I knew that he was an old man that wore one of those hats that you'd see golfers wear sometimes, round and flat. He wore a sweater and had a long beard just like my grandpa. He wasn't mine, though. In fact, I think he was the grandfather of the other spirit I would see. When I would see them together, it was joyous and familial. The girl always seemed to be in or around my room, whereas Grandpa Spirit liked to hang out in the common areas, even outside sometimes. I didn't and don't know who these two really were, but I like to believe that they were something to each other. The younger spirit, again, I think she may have only been a shadow at first, like in reality, but in my mind I knew that she was about my age, a little younger. She had blonde hair, brown eyes, wore a light-colored pink or purple dress with white stockings. She liked when I would play with my dollhouse, and even when I wasn't playing with it, I would see her sitting with my dollhouse, one of those Fisher-Price ones. She was there, sometimes in the day, sometimes in the night, but I sensed that I always sort of felt their presence, if that makes sense. Okay, lastly, the half-dog. I say that because it always seemed to be rounding a corner. You could never really ever see more than its back hind legs or just the backside in general. I would chase it sometimes, but not once did I ever find anything around the corner. As a child, I remember thinking, silly boy. I guess where it all got a tad frightening for me was when my mother got uncomfortable, especially when I was asking her about the shadow people, the ones that lived in our house. She wasn't fond of me asking about the puppy either. Her uneasiness made me wary of my friends, but not really. It's where I think that kids have a sort of sixth sense. I continued seeing these friends or spirits until about the 4th grade. We moved out of that house a year later, but I remember thinking for a good time before that, I wonder where they went. I don't share these stories because I found these spirits harmful or scary, but because I genuinely want to know if others have had experiences like these, maybe specifically when you were a child. Well, friends, be sure to check out The Darkest Hour YouTube at The Darkest Hour YT every Friday night, or listen to The Darkest Hour with Amanda Jane on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Stay spooky.
We'll be right back after this message from our sponsor.
The cat's out of the bag and looking for a new place to sit. Introducing the Catskit, a casket for your cat to sit. Have you ever ordered a new toy for your cat and they just sit in the box?
Come on!
Well, with the Catskit, the toy is the box.
Wow, that's amazing!
Choose from cardboard or wood models with custom interiors.
Pumpkin loves her orange one.
Don't wait. Order now and we'll send this spider on a string chase toy.
Wow, that's really great!
For just one low payment of $59.98, you can have a cat bed that doubles as an eternal resting place for your little furry demon. Contact your local dealer today. You'll have the happiest familiar in the bog this Halloween. You're watching the Halloween Horror Hour on Scary TV.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You know, being the wee man, I've been the little guy in the group and wherever in the world. But you know what? I always support the little guy. And Vinyl Disorder is the little guy coming up in the studio world. Boom!
Mr. Ellis knows you don't have anything better to do on a Saturday night, Davy. He just doesn't want you around. You're a loser. No one wants you around.
Mr. Ellis is nice to me.
Saturday. Pretty sure you got better things to do, yeah?
I told you, she doesn't even remember you.
I just want to talk to her more.
You're a loser and a liar. You don't have the guts to talk to her.
Shut up. This time is gonna go differently.
Thanks.
Thank you. Have a good day.
And so I thought, since it's a Halloween episode, I could have the monster teeth in.
Just take those out.
Fine.
I thought we killed you.
Happy Halloween, y'all. I'm Topher.
And I'm Ariel.
We're Bad Cookie Pictures, and this is Bad Cookie's Weird Woods.
Where we dredge the depths of the Pacific Northwest to find horror short films and tell you which ones you should watch.
And where to find them.
Get your fangs out, because the first short we're talking about today is the Garlic Bulb Challenge.
The Garlic Bulb Challenge is a delightful horror comedy parodying the moral panics over TikTok trends such as the Tide Pod Challenge. It won't leave a bad taste in your mouth.
Check out the Garlic Bulb Challenge on the Cascadia Dread YouTube channel.
Next up, Attack of the Killer Scarecrow.
This short film is perfect for putting on your Halloween watch list. It's like a long-lost episode of Goosebumps. And on top of that, the scarecrow design is killer, just like the name suggests.
You can find Attack of the Killer Scarecrow on Octavian Call's YouTube channel. Finally, we have Ghost Can. Wait, is this a trick? You're in Ghost Can.
Well, it's Halloween, and I wanted to give myself a bit of a treat, and Ghost Can's a really great short film. It's got nods to Sam Raimi, a really fun soundtrack, and the most epic high five that you're ever gonna see in a short film.
You can find Ghost Can on Vimeo. Thank you so much for watching, guys. This has been Bad Cookie's Weird Woods.
We hope you have a scary but safe Halloween.
And as always, you keep believing in West Coast horror.
Or else.
Duck!
Black cats and broomsticks, bubbling cauldrons, slimy green. I'm missing a toe now. It's been included in a cream. She is my witch. She is my witch. With a dash and a pinch, she's my witch. I'm howling at the moon now, but on my shirt again. My nights are all blacked out. Pour me another hair of the dog bar man. She's my witch. She is my witch. I'm a wolf man barking. She's my witch. I would like to suck your blood in the dark halls of my keep. Came from Transylvania, be in London in a week. She's my witch, one of my 7 brides. I'm the bat that they call track. We live eternal lives. There's a storm a-brewing. Hey Doc, flip the switch. Bullets in my neck say Frankenstein and Hubbard West. She's my witch. She is my witch. I'm a dead man walking, and she is mine.
Hello, folks, and welcome back to the second talk show that's hosted by a ghost. My name's Hallow Ian, and joining me today is Mike Hodge. Hi, Mike, how are you?
I'm alive.
Well, that's better than I'm doing then.
Indeed.
Well, you've worked on so many projects that were on this program. The Swap, Sorcerer's Vendetta, The Apophenia, Hangry, TV Boy.
Yes.
Correct. Okay, so you have 5 projects that you've been on different roles on this program, and you work on this program as well. Can you tell us about your inspiration and your creation process overall?
Well, I had the great luck to shoot both 2 of the projects, Sorcerer's Vendetta and TV Boy, on film. So Sorcerer's Vendetta is on Super 8, and TV Boy is on 16mm color film. And just the idea of working with film, it's very different than just working with video. And being able to do things that we really haven't done before, that really excites me. And with something like Sorcerer's Vendetta, we really wanted to get kind of an homage to spaghetti westerns in much more of a silent film format. And TV Boy was just a very experimental film from filmmaker Jake Wallakonis, and just really loved the whole concept of taking very pretty actors and putting TVs on their heads.
Now, this is a horror program, and you've brought us some of our more adjacent horror films. But what is it that draws you to the horror genre in general?
There's a lot of different kinds of horror. And to a certain extent, I like horror that might be considered a little more cerebral. Something, in what might be considered like a Midsommar or a Babadook, or that kind of film. Although one of my all-time favorite films is the John Carpenter's Thing. Because that, I was much younger then, and that just really opened my eyes to what you could do with just practical effects. It was great.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite horror movie? Is it The Thing?
It is probably The Thing, or possibly Cronenberg's Scanners, because that's just a great film also.
That's fantastic. What other hobbies or interests do you have outside of filmmaking and horror?
Well, I do like to write, although I find writing very difficult, so it goes slowly. I do have a day job, so that makes it even slower. I actually do some political activism, primarily in the environmental and LGBTQ plus spaces. And I try to, I've worked with youth groups in the past, both high school, middle school, and filmmaker youth groups. So those are all things that I really, really enjoy working on.
Great. Do you have any rituals for Halloween?
At this point, probably fewer rituals. We do tend to still decorate the house somewhat, but we don't get as many people coming to the door as we used to. So I think the height of my Halloween rituals was when I was in high school, and I replaced our front porch bulb with a red light and sat on the porch in a big robe with a skull mask and skull hands. And so people would come up to the door, and I would just turn and offer them candy and scare the bejeebus out of a lot of kids.
Are you currently working on any projects yourself or otherwise?
Well, I just finished a 48, and I'm also trying to kind of really get back into writing horror films and or just films in general. There's a project that I'm working on that involves, very much like Ralph Bakshi's Lord of the Rings, where you shoot a lot of footage, but then you rotoscope over it. I don't think I can quite get as fancy as, say, a Scanner Darkly. But, the idea that you could do something with science fiction that's more space-oriented through rotoscoping animation. And that's something that I've been trying to work on, but it's very, it's hard to get time.
Yeah, I completely understand that. If there was one piece of advice you would give to aspiring filmmakers out there, what do you think it would be?
Don't stop making films. It's better to make 100 bad films getting better over time than to try and make one perfect film.
That's excellent advice. Where can folks find you or projects you've worked on?
Well, at one point, I realized I accidentally branded myself Rewired Geek. So, Rewired Geek, all lowercase, one word. You can put that into Google, and just about everything I've done pops right up.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Mike.
Thank you.
And have a happy Halloween.
Indeed. Thank you.
Our final short this Halloween is making its public debut.
A grieving mathematician tries to use fractal math to bring her girlfriend back from the dead, but in her obsession she finds something she wasn't expecting.
Florence, please, just stay at my uncle's spot. It's been empty since he passed away. The caretaker has taken care of everything. You can stay there as long as you need.
I just need to focus on my work.
Ada's not letting you come back to campus this soon. You need to take time and grieve. Losing Julia was hard for the whole department.
Was it?
Look, I'm sorry. We all support you here, Florence. Ada hasn't even been asking me how you're doing. Seriously, here's the key to my uncle's cabin. I've heard it's a great spot to just go figure things out. Fine. The keys are right there. Please.
Hello, Florence?
Hey, Ada, I'm actually glad you called. I think I found what I was looking for. The patterns. There's an order to them. The iterations are stable. It's really fascinating.
I'm concerned, Florence. This time is for healing and grieving, not jumping down some theoretical rabbit hole.
I know, I think I've done it. I knew something was off that day. I just knew it, but I couldn't tell what it was. And I think I could see what it was now, and I think I found a way to reverse it. In fact, I know I can.
Florence, please rest. I know the accident has been hard on you, really, I do. But you can't predict or reverse what happened.
I can't believe that. I can't accept it. That would be chaos. I have to make sense of it. The numbers are here. The numbers are always here.
Florence? Florence? Florence, are you still there? Florence?
You Seth's friend?
Yeah. I'm Florence. I work with Seth at the university in the math department.
Aye, he left me a message. The house all right.
Yeah? But between us, have you ever noticed anything strange about this place?
Strange. Out here. In these woods? Lots of strange things out here. For the unfamiliar, at least. Out-of-towners often see, hear things. Most easily explained.
I have to get back to work. Thanks for stopping by.
Aye. You take care now.
Julia! Julia! Where did you go?
You've lost your way, Florence. But maybe you can show me mine.
Julia!
I've done
You cannot stop it. The patterns must remain stable.
Are you sure we're still in the right studio, Hallow?
What have you done to our cemetery?
If exorcism won't work to get rid of you, Ghost, we're gonna try exorcising. 1, and...
Oh, no. Sam, I do believe I'm beginning to feel the burn.
Good evening. I'm here to talk to you about a problem invading our great city. And that problem is zombies. Now, I'm not talking about the literal undead walking the earth because heaven and hell are full or rabid infected. Rabies is a well-known, rare, and treatable disease. What I'm talking about are the slovenly hordes shambling around our city, causing problems for businesses and citizens alike. These ne'er-do-wells have no self-respect and no respect for property or safety of others. They randomly attack people out doing their shopping or walking their dog, imposing this zombie lifestyle on many in the process. I can hear the liberal tree-hugging social justice warriors already calling me prejudiced against the homeless, minorities, and free thinkers embracing a post-human lifestyle that rejects the need for housing, personal hygiene, cognitive thinking, and in some cases, random parts of their own bodies. Folks, they say I'm being racist, classist, and ableist. Well, I say poppycock to all that. Have some decency and self-esteem, and for God's sake, take a shower. In the interest of fairness, we have a representative from the zombie lifestyle faction here to present a counterpoint.
Bring more chiropractors.
You're now watching Sam's Spooktacular Samhain Special.
Halloween is finally resting in peace, at least until the advertisers do the ritual of putting money back in the bank. Well, until next time, goblins and ghouls, have a silly Samhain.
Happy Halloween, ghosts and ghouls.
Exorcism won't end you, ghosts. Then we'll try exercising.
Right.
Goats!
Hey, can we change the color on the lights?
Yeah, that'd be fun. That would be really fun. Let's make it 80s.